Uh, Hi, this is the YouTube video for the requirement of designing a system tracking application. So we're going to use Java from Java Spring frameworks, and we're going to build this system tracking application. You see, so the business requirement is we have a you take any department. You can take schools, or you can take hospitals or government departments. I want to track the revenue and expenditure of each and every department in a system. So I need a unique and global system which can actually support all kinds of business use cases. So tracking system is a global requirement, as I told you, right? So I just want to create a unique system. I just want to build a new unique system that can support globally for all kinds of departments for tracking their revenues and expenditure, and also see the analytics of the particular department, how much revenue is actually allocating for particular department, or how much they are spending for for each department. So that way we can actually track for every year, and how each and every department of government is going to receive the amount, how much budget is getting allocated for it, how much amount of money they are going to spend for each and every services or goods, right? So see, initially we are going with the MVP model, MVP scope. The core modules, you can see we need to have a organization management. We'll have a different organizations. As I told you, it can be hospital, school, municipality, government department, anything, right? And other module is revenue management. So whenever government is going to allocate any budget, so we will use this revenue management module, and we will actually store the data using a revenue management. Okay. And other thing is expense management. Expense management, for tracking the expense of each and every department. So you can see for revenue, you can see patient fees, insurance claim, government grants, donations, pharmacy scales. So you'll have different revenues. And expenditure also, you can see they'll spend amount for salary, infrastructure, maintenance, procurement of any new goods. They'll use the amount, utilities, travel, equipment. They'll have many scenarios for spending of money. So this is the expense management. Budget management, you can see budget, how they are budget management. You can see annual budget, how much amount of money is going to getting allocated for a particular department. For example, for salaries they are allocating 10 crores, for equipment 5, maintenance 2 crores. So the actual spending, how much they are spending. Budget utilization, we can see it in percentage. Salary they are spending 90%, equipment 120%. Then we can generate an alert why they are spending this much percentage of money for equipment, maintenance. So this is just a simple MVP model for business use case, and it's going to be a global system design for use cases for different departments. So that way, see, the main goal is, the main expectation of this business requirement is to create a dashboard for the public, so that they can see all the statistics regarding the revenue that the government is actually allocating for a particular department, and the expenditure, the amount of how much amount they are actually spending for a particular service, for particular maintenance or whatever, for a procurement or medicine, salary, other whatever the other use cases. So it will be a tracking system. So you can see how the high level architecture will be like this. So we'll have citizens or auditors. Anybody can use this dashboard. So it can be a web dashboard, or we can also create any desktop application also if we want. but a web dashboard would be useful because anybody can access it over the internet. And we'll have a API gateway, and after that we're going to create a 3 services: financial service, audit service, and user service. Okay, and this is going to be like that. And we have a database layer. We're going to use 2 databases, PostgreSQL or MongoDB. We can also use Oracle, and other thing is MongoDB. Oracle for storing a transactional data. MongoDB for you can store a data as a document, and later you can use it for analytical purpose. Technology stack, always use Java 17. Don't go for Java 21. I don't think it's stable and good for now. So go for a Java 17 only. It's a mistake here, it mentioned Java 20. And you can use Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA. You can use Hibernate or MyBatis, REST API. You can use Kafka, RabbitMQ. Front end you can go for AngularJS, not React.js. Okay. So these are the services. Generally transparency platform. In this way you can actually design the microservices architecture. Okay, these are the many services, but initially we are going to create this MVP model using only 2 services: revenue service and expense service. I'll explain you how we can achieve it using only 2 services in the technical point of view. So database design, you can see we'll have an organization table, revenue table, and expense table. So organization table is the main table, which will have an ID for an organization, name, type, country, state, address of the organization. And the revenue table, so we are going to establish a foreign key relationship with the organization table. So revenue table is going to have ID, and organization ID is a foreign key relationship with the organization table. Organization table primary key. What is the primary key? ID of the organization is primary key. Organization ID is the foreign key column for this particular table. So in the same way, expense table also will have a foreign key relationship with the organization table. You can see ID, organization, category. And we need to have an audit table. See, audit table plays a key role and vital role whenever we are going to create a tracking system. Because the thing is, right, sometimes the people, the admin people, the working people, they can actually change the records. They can actually change the records deliberately, right? So to avoid those problems, we need to audit table. We need to have an audit table. Audit table will be distributed. You know, in a blockchain model, we'll have this audit table in distributed way in different locations. So that you know, if any admin, if any user changes any record, we can actually track the details. Okay. So these are all the details. And security design, you can see audit table. See here what we are doing. Audit trial. I should be immutable. Okay. So that they will not change it. So you can design in a blockchain model or immutable storage, so that if anybody changes anything, right, that immediately that record will be updated. So that is the expectation. That is why we can have this kind of security design high level. Fraud detection AI model. See, you can have some pattern detection, like you know, if stationery is 10 lakhs per year, suddenly it became 5 lakhs, then AI will generate some suspicious alerts, right? We can also create some AI pattern detection models to track the suspicious activities and all. So you can see we are going to achieve MVP model using a basic programming structure. We are going to create only revenue controller and expense controller. We have only 2 services, revenue service and expense service. Okay. And so I'll explain how we can achieve it. You can see the revenue service entity. We're going to create a revenue service. We need to mark it at the rate entity and ID, and we need to create a repository, and we're going to create a service, corresponding service. We need to auto-wire the repository, revenue repository in the revenue service. Okay, there is a save. We are going to save the record and we're going to return the multiple revenue. There are two methods only. Basically, you can say service. One is save. You can actually store the data and you can retrieve all the data. Okay, this is MVP model in high level. So we just created only two things. REST control, you can say endpoint. We have post mapping and get mapping, two methods only. Okay. So for example, you see initially organization ID, organization name, category, amount, how much amount you're allocating it, you can specify it and you can retrieve the data. So the dashboard design, you can see high level for government, hospital, organization. Okay, revenue will be there, expense. Revenue 250 crores, expenditure is 210 crores, remaining 40 crores are still there. Expense distribution, you can see. So this is the way you can actually create this architecture using microservices architecture. But I want to tell one thing here, we missed one thing. Let's say any organization department will have different departments, right? It will have a different departments. Let's say I want to track the expenditure details with the department wise for each organization. So then I need to create another table. You can see department table. It is required. Okay, we'll have only two services, but the data, whenever we're going to insert it, right, we're going to insert the data department wise. For example, hospital, you can cardiology, gynecology, pharmacy, emergency, administration. So many departments are there. For school, they will have primary education, secondary, transport, administration, different departments. Municipality, water, roads, sanitization, different departments are there. So you can see high level how it happens. So department, you need to add a department ID also. So we have an organization table and we already have an organization ID mapped with the foreign key relationship with the revenue table and expense table. Same way we need to create a department table, and we're going to have this department ID as well. So you can see department ID, organization ID. There are two IDs are there, and you can see the revenue table. We have a revenue ID. There are two foreign key relationship IDs because you can see we have organization ID and department ID. So this is required because we want to track it for each and every department, right? So this is a backend system basically, so not the UI. How we are going to call this API for each and every transaction, that we need to design the user interface properly. But in the high level, it is enough for achieving MVP model. This is a basic MVP architecture. Okay, for each and every department you can have data like this. So in the front end side, we will give you an option for any organization. They'll actually insert the data, edit the data. They'll actually insert and allocate the data and update the data, or delete the data. If something goes wrong, they should be able to delete it. Delete means only admins will do that. We may avoid delete. We will only allow only insert and update. So I mean, we can discuss that further, but basically you see the back end using this high level architecture we can achieve it. Okay, this is the design for system tracking. You can actually track any systems information. So that's how it works. I hope you understand this. It would be useful for you, and thank you very much.